Okay. Oh, I can't see it. All right. So looks like we're good on Kick. We're good on Twitch. For some reason, though. There we go. Alrighty then. Just to let y'all know, this is my first time I'm actually streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. So it's gonna be might be a little turbulent here for those that are coming on to ask questions. I'm gonna do my best to get through everything, to go through the tabs so that way I can see everything. I'm still kind of working this out. Man, why is the title that? The title should be that. So I gotta get some things prepared. But if y'all here and y'all wanna ask some questions, go ahead and. Okay, I had to change that. I don't know. Let's see. Boom. Okay. Yeah, like I said, if anybody's watching right now, it's just taking me a second because I haven't streamed on Twitch or Kick before. So it's a first for that. And they are definitely different. Definitely different. Okay. And then what about this one? Hey there. Yo, what's up? It says Barolino. How you doing? Barolino's on Kick. So. Alright, without further ado, as always, this is your boy Boogie Black. Welcome to my live stream. Live streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. First thing I always want to start off with is I do numerology. For those that haven't met me yet, I do numerology. I do astrology. Take you through the process of that. I also have my own website at dragonsightknowledge.com. I put them in the description at the end of these videos. One of these days I'm going to have it up in the corner so that way you can see it up there. But there I offer numerology reports as far as like things about your own picture and numbers, a full numerology report, 5-year plan, career planning, love and relationships. Or if you just want to ask like 3 questions, I got that too. I also do apparel, and that's also on there. And this whole month I'm actually I'm sorry. And I'm actually doing a 28% discount off for everything in my store for the whole month of August. So, yeah, no, take your time to go out there and check it out. Sorry about that. I got a really important message there. So, starting off, for those on Kick, I don't know how to put the title in the video yet, but for those on YouTube and Twitch, you may have noticed that I put numerology, astrology, enemy years and good years and how to navigate them. So, and let me slow myself down. So, you have both not in numerology, but mostly in astrology. What I mean by astrology, I mean the Chinese. I go mainly off the Vietnamese zodiac, which is older than Chinese zodiac. Chinese zodiac just got more popularity, and there's a reason behind that. But I will definitely get into that later. Oh, thank y'all very much for the follows. So, what ends up happening is when you're born, you know, whatever year you may be born in, like right now we're in the year of snake, right? If you're born in the snake year, that is your animal according to Chinese Vietnamese zodiac. And every 12 years after that is a good year for you. So at age 12, age 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, 96, hopefully if you get that far, so on and so forth. Well, what actually ends up happening is the fact that the universe itself needs to actually balance things out. So it begins at age 6, and then every 12 years after that you enter what's called a enemy year. So at age 6, at age 18, age 30, 42, 54, 66, 78, and 90 is when you hit those enemy years. That's really important to know these because there's things that happen a lot in both years. Obviously, if good year, your year, good things happen. If it's an enemy year, things tend to get rocky. Now, I will say that enemy years does not mean that everything is going to be completely heinous during that whole time. There's a way to navigate it, but since most people don't even know that it's a thing that's going on, yes, a lot of things can tend to go awry during that time. But I'm going to give y'all a blueprint on how to navigate that. So, one second. She's going to have to wait for a second. That's something you got to deal with right now. So, what ends up happening? Y'all hear me repeat certain things, their little thought gaps. Slow myself down. So, let's start off. Like I said, you're born a year of the snake, right? So, your enemy would be the pig. And to go through actually the whole Chinese Vietnamese astrology, the snake is the enemy of the pig, pig enemy of the snake. Dragon is the enemy of the dog. The goat is the enemy of the ox. The horse is the enemy of the rat. The cat, or if Chinese astrology is a rabbit, Vietnamese is a cat, but they're the energy of the rooster. And then the tiger is the enemy of the monkey. And I don't think I'm left anybody out. I think that's all of them. So that's how they balance each other out. And it's really important to know that. So for those, like I said, on Twitch, you haven't seen my video. On Kick, if you're on here, you haven't seen my video. If you go to YouTube, I actually have a video that I did on Elon Musk. Good couple of, so it was sometime last week. I did one on I did a video on Elon Musk, and he was born a year of the pig. And I'm sorry, one second, I'm gonna have to do this, and I like this, man. I'm just trying to have my brain keep up with everything that I got going on. But Elon Musk born a year of pig, and you see everything that's happened to him so far. Everything was going good. He was helping out Trump. Trump got into office, and then not too long after that, and it was right after the snake year started. What happened to him? He got booted out. And also during that time, he's losing Tesla. He was losing so much stuff going on, right? Now, he probably won't fully lose Tesla, though. There's other things he got going for him that could save that. But being the year of the pig, you can see already he's getting affected by a negative year. I don't know if he knows it. I know a lot of people up there that have money. They know about numerology, astrology, and they use it on a daily basis. They really do. But getting more into detail about it. So, rewinding. Where numerology comes into play. It gives you kind of a blueprint on what to do that year. So for everybody that's born in the pig year. So pig year is being 6 years before this year, which would be 2019. 2019 would have been the last pig year. Then 2007. Then 1995. 1983, so on and so forth, every 12 years behind. y'all not going through such a great year. But if you look at what the year is about, you can use that energy to kind of help you navigate. So, universally, or how you universally, and I could do that later. Man, brain, I'm gonna get better at this. This is just a little heavy right now. So, we're in a universal 9 year. 9 is a number of conclusion, completion, adaptability, and ego. There's your first clue. So this whole planet is in a universal 9 year. We're also in a snake year. Snake year is known for being the wisest sign. Knowledge, not knowledge them, but just life in general tends to make sense of them pretty daggone easy. They're actually really loyal. A lot of people like to say that, hey, don't be a snake, don't be this. It's not that. Snakes are actually really loyal people. So you got, being wise and being loyal. And you can't really lie to a snake. A snake is going to know whether you're lying or not. So with those two things in mind, where we get that universal 9. Yeah, the universal 9 year comes from the years 2025. 2 plus 0 equals 2. 2 plus 2 equals 4. 4 plus 5 equals 9. So it's a universal 9 year. So as a whole, what everybody needs to do, use your brains. Really dive deep into what things are, the things that you would consider to be wise. Not really intelligent, not, man, daggone, I'm messing up. It's gonna give me a second to get into it. We got 11 minutes in. Wisdom and intelligence are two different things. And like, intelligence is knowing 1 plus 1 equals 2. Wisdom is more or less like knowing where to apply it, in a sense, and like almost any different situation. So like, there's people that are book smart, but then there's people that are streetwise, and most people that are streetwise are definitely more wise wisdom, and most people that are book smart are mostly intelligent. So you got to really like go based off your gut feeling. Let that gut feeling really guide you this year. Also with that 9, you got to be patient to that ego. You really got patience to that ego. Because if you don't, it can ruin a lot of daggone things for you. So, and then I can bring, like I said, it's a number of conclusion and completion, which means the whole world is going to be running situations where things might come to an end. There'll be things that's been involved in your life for years that may abruptly stop. There may be things that like you've been doing, you've been working on, that will come to a close. At the same time, this is not a good year to actually start a business. If you've already had something going like last year, like on my YouTube channel, I made my YouTube channel last year. It was in the year of the dragon. I'm born in the year of the dragon. I made another one this year for my astrology and numerology stuff, and it wasn't working. It actually pushed me back to my other channel. So you kind of see how that's going on now. Now I did start Twitch and kicking this year, but right now, just like I did with the other one, it's definitely experimenting and figuring out certain things. And I wouldn't be surprised by next year if I have brand new channels on Twitch and Kick, which I'll let everybody know if I do that so y'all can transfer over. But it's not a good year to start a business. It's actually probably the best year to probably reflect, check your friend circles, do some house cleaning. If they're not vibrating, they're not going forward in life like you are, and they're trying to keep you down, get them out. This is the perfect time to do it. Get them out. Start building to get yourselves in a position to where when we come into the year of the horse next year, which is going to be a year of hard work, that you need to put your head down and do hard work, and it's going to be a universal. Is it going to be universal? I'm pretty sure it's universal 1 year. Yeah, because 2, 4. A universal 1 year, which means new beginnings. You don't want the baggage that should have been gone from this year to carry you over to the next one. Because when you start that new beginning, you're going to be right back in the same spot. So, like I said, for those that are pigs, pay attention to your gut feelings. Keep that ego in check. Don't try to start too much new. And understand that situations for you, especially up until this year is over. Think of, I forgot the one dude's law, but if it's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong. Don't let that rule your life, but use it as a tool to not get yourself in certain situations you don't want to be in. If you got a second guess or you got to ask a question about a situation, it's more than likely not a good thing for you to do. And you'll navigate it fine. Here's a small example. So last year, was the year of the dragon. And like I said, me being the year of the dragon, I got a couple friends that are born in the year of the dog, right? So those friends, I gave them a warning. I'm like, hey, you know, just let you know, we're in the year of the dragon. Don't be surprised if things like tend to go sideways for y'all a little bit, right? And out of 3 of them, one listened. One of them listened. And one unfortunately ended up going through a divorce. The other one I had to kick out of my own place. You know, and he lost a really good job that he had. A really good job. He lost that. I kicked him out. He had to start over from square one. And this is somebody that I've known for quite a while. You know, but the one that did listen, he had a son, which that's a whole different ball game as far as what to talk about. But he's been having time in his life, constantly going out on adventures, constantly going out and having fun with his family. Because here's another thing about the dragon year, it was a universal 8 year. 8 is a number of money, power, and karma, which means it didn't matter who you were. You could have been a dragon, and if your karma wasn't set a certain way, you were getting hit. But even if you're a dog, even though it's your enemy year, if you were sitting in a good spot, you got rewarded. Because karma doesn't have good or bad to it. It just is. And it's going to pay you back in kind in what you do. And that's what the themes that hit both those dogs did the same thing. You know, and I know another one, I'm trying not to give out information, but he went through something really hardcore in a relationship too. Something people really don't need to be going through, you know? Man, it was a dog. He was 18 enemy year. So, one thing I want to clarify too, just because you might find somebody 6 years older, 6 years younger than you, 12 years or 12 years younger, and they are in your enemy sign, quote unquote, does not mean you can't be friends with them. Shaq and Kobe hated each other. Kobe is a horse. Shaq is a rat. That's enemy signs. But look at what they achieved together. Sometimes that rivalry, that enemy, you know, the energy going in between y'all two can boost you to new levels. 1 second. But it's also, this is where numerology comes in too. So the pecking order, numerology is going to sit at the top, and then it's going to be Chinese, Vietnamese astrology, and then Western astrology, and I'll get into why that is. So when you're born on a certain day, at a certain time. As soon as you come into that world, you're imprinted with that energy. Those numbers are very specific, and the combination, the flow of those numbers dictate more of what you do in your life than anything else. You know, how you talk to people, how you treat yourself, how you treat other people, your career goals, your career paths, how you do things, it matters. Now, the stuff that surrounds it, this is where your Chinese or Vietnamese sign comes into play. This is kind of more like the psychology aspect, where they're like accents and they help boost you. And the reason why Western Zodiac is a little bit down at the bottom, because like even as I just found recently, which I'm still learning, this is something that I'm still practicing, is that you have tropical Western astrology, but then you also have sorry about that. But then you also have sidereal. And just in a nutshell, tropical is kind of more of a guesstimation where they're at. They change with the calendars of the date, and they change with the hemispheres is what they said that it does. Sidereal is telling you exactly where the spot is in the constellation. So where the sign is and what constellation it is at that time. But they use both, and that makes it to where it can't be as accurate as the other two. So that's why it's kind of treated at number 3. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to really work on this. I might have to just like stream on one platform and switch it every day. And actually, that might be what I do, because a lot of these are just not working in the way I need them to be. So like I said, I do apologize. Trying to get this really situated might take me a while. But I know nobody sees me on YouTube. I got one viewer on Twitch, which I'm pretty sure I know exactly who that is. And 2 viewers on Kick. But yeah, no, I think I'm gonna do that. So those of y'all on, well, no, I think what I might do is transfer over to my phone and go to YouTube. So if y'all have a YouTube, y'all can find me at Black, White, and Black, White, Gold 57. So Black, White, Gold is all one word. 57 is directly at the end. I'm gonna go directly on there, and then I'm gonna continue because I still got like another 40 minutes of live time. But I need to work with this a little bit more because my brain is just, yeah. But thank y'all very much. I got more coming this way, and trust me, it's gonna do more. Now I need to boop. Stopping.